My Hero Academia Season 5. One of the most disappointing anime seasons I, and many others, have ever watched. Ruined by greed. With a movie coming out alongside the season, the studio decided to rearrange the arcs and cut some important scenes to make room for a movie hype filler. Every My Hero fan was looking forward to Season 5. I myself thought it might end up being my favorite season of the show, but that was not the case. And now, it seems a lot of fans have lost hope with Bones, already denouncing the next season at any chance they get. This next season is the War Arc, My Hero's equivalent of Marineford that the manga has been building up to since the start. So now, more than ever, people should be excited, but it seems like it's the opposite. Everyone thinks Bones will mess it up because of the failures of the last season, which in terms of hype, was in a very similar position to this season. Everyone thought the My Villain Academia arc would be the best thing since the sports festival, but it was quite the opposite, so understandably the hype is being withheld for this season. But that's not it. It seems like there's a reversal of hype now. Whatever the inverse of hype is, that's what's going on for this season. But I think there's one very important difference between this coming season and the last, and that's the lack of movie. I mentioned earlier how the movie caused Bones to rearrange arcs and add in a filler episode to hype the movie, which then took away more time from the main story. So much so that they had to remove what would later become a pretty important part of the world building. On top of this, the movie also took up some of the key My Hero Academia animators, so the season ended up lacking in terms of story and animation. But that's not the case this time. No movie, no unnecessary hype filler required, no key animators' time taken up by other work, and no budget going towards something other than the main anime. Yes, Mob Psycho Season 3 is coming out, and that's a massive project, but there's different sub-studios each dedicated to different anime, so Mob Psycho will realistically have no effect on My Hero. Another factor that influenced this last season's failure was the fact that Japan doesn't really like villains, especially when they're the main focus. This disinterest with villains has even influenced Horikoshi's writing since the start of the series. It came out recently that he was rushing through things and changed the way he wanted to write the story because he knew that the fans in Japan wouldn't necessarily like the extra focus on villains. So reasonably, Bones thought to themselves, hey, if Japanese people don't really like these and they're the ones giving us the money, we're not going to try as hard on this. We're not going to try on this as hard as the Western fans might want us to. But this isn't the case for the War Arc. Obviously, the villains play a huge part in it and will probably have the best moments in the arc. But because the focus is on the heroes and villains as a collective and not just the villains, Bones has no reason to think this arc isn't worth their effort. On top of that, on June 19th, there was a Yamashita and Suwabe OVA talk event where they stated that Season 6 would not start off with a filler episode. This is the first time since Season 1 where the first episode will not be some sort of filler recap, which just goes to show how seriously they're taking this. They really do want to do this war arc well, and that's pretty clear. Now, you take that with a grain of salt, because there could have been like some misinterpretation of what they were saying. They said that they'll show the first episode at like some anime expo or anime convention, so they might just mean that actually the second episode, but the first episode that airs will be the filler. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. Now, all this reasoning is well and great, but it doesn't really mean much. It's ultimately all up to Bones now, and although many believe they'll flop it again, I don't. Bones has released so many of my favorite anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Noragami, Mob Psycho 100, and My Hero Academia all hold or have held a spot in my top 10 favorite anime of all time at some point, and I hold all those complete works in much higher regard than one not so great season. And this is especially the case now, because the trailer is out, and it looks great. As I said before, the reasoning that I had was all great. Doesn't really amount to much. It all depends on when the trailer comes out and we see how it looks. And this trailer has not disappointed me and made me think, hey, maybe my reasoning was correct. The original Twitter reaction to this trailer, that I saw at least, was as you'd expect. People saying Bones was gonna fuck it all up, and that was originally what inspired this video. I was gonna talk about how much unnecessary hate My Hero gets, but then, when I went to look at the comments again, it wasn't necessarily all hate, but skepticism. Skepticism that I would have understood had the trailer not looked so goddamn beautiful. The shadows they draw on Hawks during his big moment, the colors on Shigaraki when he's in the tank, the Sakuga and Endeavor literally just talking, they animate crust well, there's bold lines, fluid movements, hell, they even added impact to Miracle flexing her thighs. I mean, look at it! Look at that! Explosions out of them, that's nuts. That alone should be enough for this season to be the best. And that's not even showing the best moments. I'm so excited for this season. It truly feels like it'll live up to the manga and be My Hero's golden season. No bad moments, no bad animation, no slow stuff, just good animation turning a 10 out of 10 manga arc into a 10 out of 10 anime season. Throughout all of this, the one thing I don't understand though are the comments that say the anime's been ruining My Hero. It hasn't. is not even close. My Hero has had one of the most faithful adaptations up until MVA. The art style is the same as the manga, but it moves. Everything's so similar. Saying that the anime has been ruining the manga is pretty absurd. Now with that all said, what do you guys think? Are you excited for this new season? Have you even been keeping up with My Hero? I know a lot of people dropped it after season 4 because it just didn't live up to the hype. I feel like that's been an ongoing thing for this series, is not living up to the hype. But I really do think that this season is where it's all gonna change. I say it here now, my friends. My Hero Academia Season 6 will be the best season of My Hero Academia and the best anime of its respective season, maybe even of that year. I think it's coming out in October. Yes, I was correct. It's coming out in October. Along with a lot of other heavy hitters like Blue Box, Chainsaw Man, I think, Bleach. I think Mob Psycho's coming out then as well. It's crazy. A shit ton of big bad boys are coming out. But I believe that My Hero will be able to top them all and rise to victory as it should, as the 3rd best anime of all time. I really cannot wait for this season. The moments, even in the manga, were amazing. I remember I was at work, and I would always go to the bathroom for however long to read the newest chapter. And I remember reading that chapter and seeing things like Lemillion showing up, which was so hype. Seeing Deku go like all rage mode. I cannot wait to see that thing get animated, man. It is going to be so sick. The art on that was absolutely insane, so I can only imagine that the animation is going to go even more crazy. Moments like Shigaraki's speech, more Gigantomachia stuff, it's all going to be great. Midnight, she had a pretty important moment. That'll be cool to see. Just everything. Ashido had pretty important moment as well. So did Kirishima. It's just going to be crazy. I cannot wait. That is all for me today. This has been ya boy. I do indeed hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all in the next one. Deuces.
The Black Marty McFly resurrecting the real shit, so I'm sorry if I offend plenty of the fakes. See, I'm one of a kind, the hell of a guy, came through with loss to defy. They call me Philip J. Fly captain yesterday, checkmate. Your second place suckers are second rate. Yes, sir. You ever been a club but got the weight? Crack music got the finest shit coming from out the states. But wait, now hold the phone, man. We could take a minute to pretend that me and Days OC and doing niggas in. We got you and your girl moving and all her friends. Ain't worried about them 3s, but them 9s and 10s. I can't wait to get bougie. My service is gonna be costly. The pick of the little niggas so haters can get off me. You think you ahead? I'ma be there shortly. Of course, we in the game like Charles Wade Barkley.